What's going on YouTube? This is Prepper Princess. I am the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. Today I am headed to the Monterey Bay Aquarium trying to get something crossed off of my bucket list. And today I want to talk to you about being near retirement age and having nothing saved. A lot of people come to me and they say, I'm 64 years old, I retire next year, I have no money saved, what do I do? Now if you're 64, you're in trouble. But I used to think if you don't start at the age of 40, it's too late. It's too late for you. The earlier you start, of course, the better off you're going to be. I fortunately was able to start extremely early, and I am now financially independent at the age of 41. But not everybody is educated in finances. Now, me personally, I need you all to understand, I am not a financial advisor. I have no financial education other than the school of hard knocks in the real world. It's starting to get a little bright out. That is the extent of my education. And when it comes to investing, for starters, saving money and living off of your savings, you are just throwing away interest. You know, right now we're in a huge inflationary period, but mostly inflation is 3% or more. So every year, for every $100 you save, you will only get about $97 worth of stuff the next year. And so on down the line it goes. So let's talk about investing for a minute. I am not telling you what to invest in. I am telling you what I invest in for specific things. Once you hit the age of 60, you are not looking for growth. You're not looking for that doubling the investment that you made every 10 years or every 7 years. You don't have that time anymore. You don't have that ability to, you know, make your investments grow. You're out of time. I'm sorry. So what you want to look for, and again, I do recommend you contact a fiduciary financial advisor. They might charge you $150 for a session, but they'll give you free financial advice, and they are professionals. But at the age of 60 or above, what you need to concentrate on is passive income, cash flow, dividends. Dividends is cash flow. That's what it is. Dividend is when you own you buy stocks, you buy a portion of the company or a mutual fund or ETF, index fund, and then you get money back just for owning that. Now, the great thing about that type of cash flow, that type of passive income, is that you still get to keep it. So you get to keep the stock. You don't have to sell it. You get to keep the stock, and you get that percentage, you get that dividend back without having to sell anything. Typically, the 4% rule that you hear so much about, if you have $1 million, you'll be able to get $40,000 per year, adjusted for inflation, adjusted for stock market corrections, everything else, until essentially you die, as long as you continue to take out the same amount every year. And there is a little bit of a problem with that when you're 60 years old and you have nothing saved. You're not going to be able to save $1 million in 5 years unless you're making $300,000 per year and you're saving $200,000 of it, which, as you know, is not what most Americans make. So if you're on a low income, I'm sorry, but the last 5 years, as you are older, you're 60 years old, and you don't make a good income, you have no choice. You need to find a way to increase your income, double your income, triple, quadruple your income for the next 5 years. You have no choice. Your back is up against the wall. Unless you want to retire on Social Security alone, which is barely above poverty, you know, living on food stamps and government assistance, if you don't want to live like that, Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal. You're backed up into a corner. It's fight or flight. You have no choice. That's what you have to do for 5 years. If you were 18, you could have just worked for maybe not that long. I always say, when you live at home, stay at home for 2 or 3 years, work 2-3 jobs, as many as you can. Work until so that you're only getting 4 hours of sleep and saving every penny, and buy a house, pay in cash, and then you can live the rest of your life on a minimum wage salary and still save half of your income because your house is paid off. So when you're 60, all right, so you need cash flow, you need dividends, and you need low risk. I can only tell you what my dividend investments are. I cannot tell you. I am not. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. Don't sue me, okay? My personal investments for dividends are MPLX, which is around a little less than 4%. Sorry, MPLX is around 10%. Sorry. Amcor, which is around 4%, and JEPI, with JEPI, which is around 10%. And I'm starting to aggressively invest in JEPI because it's an ETF, which means it's not a single company. Amcor and MPLX are single individual companies, which are higher risk. JEPI is an ETF, which means that it is a basket of different companies, and the dividend is based on the equities of the mutual fund or the ETF. Look into it, do your own research. That is what I invest in personally for dividends. I also have a lot of other stuff that's not, I mean, I get small amounts of dividends, like 2 to 3%, but those are intended for growth and aggressive growth. Dave Ramsey always says, growth, aggressive growth, something else in international. Growth, aggressive growth, income in international. So my dividends or my income, my international is Amcor, and my growth and aggressive growth are my S&P 500 index funds. I personally for growth, I invest in SWPPX and SNXFX and SCHD. There you go. Yeah, good times. Those are different things that you can look into, but when you're 60 years old, it would have been, I know that you're thinking it would have been so much easier if I did this, if I took care of this when I was 20. When I was 20, I had a lot more energy. When I was 20, it was no problem, only getting 4 hours of sleep a night. When I was 20, it was no problem because I didn't have as many bills or responsibilities as I have now. I didn't have a mortgage. I was just staying at mom and dad's and paying my car insurance and you didn't have phone bills. If you're 60, you didn't have phone bills 40 years ago. All I was paying, or maybe car insurance wasn't even a requirement 40 years ago. You're just like, I have no bills. But yes, when you're 60 years old, you know you waited too long. You know you made the mistake, but you still have a few years to make. You're not going to be able to make up for it, but you're going to be maybe able to make up for some of it. So instead of living off of Social Security $1,400 a month, maybe you can bring it up to $2,000 a month or $2,500 a month. You're not going to be able to live off of $10,000 a month. That's not going to happen at this point. It's just that you waited a little bit too long. A little too long, folks. But you still have the ability to get something. And something is better than nothing. All right, folks, I hope that this video has been helpful. I know that it is a hard truth. I know it's a slap in the face. I know it hurts, but realizing that you made those mistakes and taking responsibility for them and then doing what you have to do not what you want to do. I know you want to go buy a car and live off of 100 grand a year, but that's not going to happen if you have nothing saved and you have a low income. I know it's a harsh truth, I know. And I don't see any other YouTubers admitting this. They're just like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Oh, it's not your fault. Oh, everything's great and dandy. You can still do it. Buck her up there, kiddo. No, I'm sorry. You messed up big time. And now you've got the next 5 years to either make it or break it. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. Monterey. The ocean. It's gonna do something. Can you see that big fish right there? What? Oh, oh, oh. Oh, come back. Okay, I gotta turn it around. For size reference. My friend, who I'm with. But isn't that neat? I think that looks really cool.
That's really pretty. And the music again.
It would be cool to have this in my bedroom. Just
It's built to the brim with krill, smaller bait fish. Hey, there's a win. Good morning. There's lots of vitamin cubes as well. And we're going to witness what's called a broadcast feed, where the diver will reach into the bucket, pull out the food, and just kind of broadcast it all around the water for all these fish to come grab a bite. And as they do, you will start to see the feeding frenzy that goes down. Now, a lot of the fish that are very quick to the action are part of the perch family. These beautiful diamond-shaped fish with all those various stripes on them. Now, there's a lot of different species of perch we have in here. If you can think of an adjective, there's probably a perch to go along with it.
That's the bottom of your house there. Which one? The one here? That one's up on, goes through that driveway that guy's walking right there. Oh, yeah. That side there. We're clear of 1127 King Road. We're going to be out at 1122 Queen Road. Same problem.